I'm in the world. We're in the forest. We are stationary. Well, one doesn't walk around themselves. I don't know. This is the forest that I see. I was a person. And now I've made a transition. I've made a transition into another form. Tree form. I am a tree. I turned myself into a tree. It felt quite magical. It was really beautiful, a beautiful feeling to feel this protectiveness growing over you. I felt as though I became free in a certain way, because I was liberated now from the very thing that was creating these obsessions. The entity that was putting me in such a danger was now being covered up. So I enjoyed it. I saw that these trees had very protective surfaces for themselves, and that they had very strong cores. And so what I did was I began to take on those qualities and change the characteristics that were weak in me. I'm a tree. I turned myself into a tree. I do feel that the way that I looked, that my looks were responsible for the danger I was in. I don't think that I was responsible, though. I'm no kind of tree in particular. I am no kind of tree in particular. Yes, my father told me I was beautiful my whole life. But this is how I felt about my father. My father was a very powerful person. I didn't understand it. How I was treated as an object that I didn't really have a decision. I felt upset. I felt upset about that. I have a voice. My mother was influenced only by my imagination. My mother was gone. My father never spoke of her. I was alone with men my whole life. I don't remember one woman ever in my life. I don't remember one woman ever around. My mother was an entity I did not know. I was influenced only by my imagination. But this is how I felt about my father. I loved him very much. And I do love him very much. He's my father, so you can love somebody and resent them at the same time. I think that that's any kind of love. If you love somebody, you also resent them. So when I say that being in a romance is a prison, I say it because it's an emotional prison. I didn't want any romantic dealings. They are prisons. I don't understand why so many people choose to be in prisons. Maybe they like the food there. I am no kind of tree in particular.
I'm perceived as being an object of beauty. I have received quite a bit of male attention. My whole life almost.
I don't really think of it. I don't really think of whether I'm beautiful or not.
Beauty doesn't give you the things I'm interested in. I'm interested in peace, in having some sense of peace.
Safety and solitude. Safety. Safety and peace. And respect. And a connection to the earth and to the to nature. And all, there was a man.
He was a very handsome and well-liked and conventionally exciting person. People would say that he was a catch. And in the beginning, he just pursued me for, I think I could tell, for the reason of the challenge. And then his feelings developed.
And I think he resented me for it. He didn't
listen. He was intent, and he
he became frustrated with my resistance to him. I told him that he should stop.
And so he became more aggressive in his pursuits. And I began to run in the other direction.
He had a wild look in his eye. And he grabbed hold of me, and I was right at the edge of the forest. Forced me to the ground. And that
was it.
I've been taken. I remember looking up and seeing the tree branches.
Just about. And I called out to my father to come. I screamed, and I kicked and punched at him. But he was very strong, and at a certain point I just had to give up.
I do feel that the way that I looked, that my looks were responsible for the danger I was in.
I don't think that I was responsible though. And so what I did was I began to
take on those qualities and change the characteristics that were
weak in me.
and I modeled it from those trees. Oh yes, yes.
I became a tree.
Easily. What is this skin that I'm in? What is it? If I'm a tree, how am I speaking? Well, to understand that question, you would have to... Trees can talk. The events surrounding it are recorded in its body. I'm communicating to you in this form in the way that any person would communicate to any person. Trees, speak. We choose to. We choose to speak. You simply have to listen to them and observe them in a more focused way. And human language is the same. It's a way to store one's memory. You just have to pay little to no attention to detail to understand it. Being constrained emotionally is different than being constrained physically. So when I say that being in a romance is a prison, I say it because it's an emotional prison. Well, I think that a tree is something free. I don't think that a bird or an animal is very safe physically. I will change. I don't think that I stay this way. I'll grow and take things in, listen and see and speak. I won't go any other place, but things change around you even if you stay in the same place. So you always see new things. They're perhaps just smaller things, smaller shifts. If your circumstance is displeasing, you have the power to change it. You have the power to create reality. Whichever reality you choose. If someone thought I was crazy, I would say, that's your choice. But it's not my choice of reality. We don't need to live in the same reality to get along. We've gotten along quite nicely. Trees can talk. The events surrounding it are recorded in its body. So, the events surrounding me are recorded in my body. But they aren't easily visible. You have to take care to look and see it. You have to cut me open.